Look, I've got a good blade, a few tricks up my sleeve, and a nice crew.
So first off, her chains, rather simple. She has light into light from any direction. You'll notice that that second light there is undodgeable. She has light to heavy. You'll also notice that heavy is also armored, so that's kind of interesting there. And she can do heavy to light and heavy to heavy. So nothing too complicated, right? Pretty simple. We're good to go. The interesting thing the hero has is that after every single heavy attack, you can hit the guard break button and you're gonna get a pistol blast, which uses the pistol in her left hand. So if the heavy attack hits like this, the guard break button actually shoots a guaranteed shot. So that bullet is like if your heavy attack landed, the pistol blast afterwards is always guaranteed. However, if the attack is blocked, we have this one that is dodgeable, right? So if Francis gets hit by it, you'll see we shoot the opponent in the stomach, but that attack is dodgeable, so that works quite well. The other thing that's interesting to note is that the pistol blast itself initiates chains. So I can go into heavy, pistol blast, into heavy, pistol blast, into light, for example, right? Which is pretty interesting. So that gives her a lot of an infinite chain that has to alternate between heavy and bash. The gunshot is considered, the pistol blast is considered to be a bash, so it's kind of interesting there. So that works quite well. The next thing we want to look out for is she also has an attack which is called Walk the Plank, which is performed by holding down on the left stick and pressing heavy. You can do that after any single attack, and it'll impale your opponent, and then there's multiple options out of it, right? So after a light, you can do this, impale your opponent, and you saw that I gave my opponent a little knee to the face there. So there's 3 different options to get out of it. So you can either do nothing, like this, like we said, knees, that wall splats. So if your opponent is close to a wall, you're gonna get bumped into a wall, then you can get another heavy afterwards or get more damage in. You can also do press guard break here for a quick gunshot to the face in this case. And what's also interesting here is that gunshot also initiates chains. So I can go gunshot into a heavy, keep going, do all that kind of cool stuff. So like that flow there is really interesting. It works quite well. That move can be used to gank. It works really, really well. And last but not least, you can dodge out of it to avoid other opponents. So that's kind of like the gist of that attack. On top of that, we have Dodgford Heavy. Dodgford Heavy is the first time we do something like this. The move itself is rather slow, but it's unblockable and armored. So it's kind of interesting that you can do it. Sorry?
So it's a spicy one, right?
Yeah, it's really, really spicy. It's pretty interesting. And on top of that, to make sure that it works well, it also soft feints to guard break. And keen eyes will notice that it soft feints to the fast version of a guard break, the one that we usually use after a feint. So this way, you can go like that really, really quickly. That soft feint also applies to the walk the plank as well. So those are 2 soft feints that she has here. Helps you defeat opponents that try to dodge, that sort of stuff, and parry attempts as well. She also has side dodge heavy attacks. These are heavies, so again, you can go into your pistol blast afterwards, like before. Pretty cool. And last but not least, we have her sprint attack, which is like this. Works well, has a big trajectory, kind of interesting. It also initiates chains, and can go into pistol blast as well. And then her zone attack, which is, it's not the fastest one, but it also initiates chains. So you can go into your heavies, your lights, your walk the plank, whatever you like. That works really, really well. And the last thing we want to showcase for the hero's moveset is that she can dodge cancel out of everything, kind of like what we have on Orochi and some other heroes. So after any attack, she can cancel the recovery with a dodge, even on miss. It works on this as well. So what's interesting in this case is that, let's say I land a light, I can go into dodge for the heavy if I'd like to, or I can go into side dodge heavy, or I can go into this move here. I can do whatever I like, right? So it's pretty interesting how like she's really, really, really mobile and versatile, and that's what I meant. So after anything, whenever if you're in a group fight, if you're in a 1v1 or whatever happens, you have a lot of her options at your disposal after any attack that you land. So it's pretty interesting how she can go really wide, do a lot of different things, but still keep the pressure on opponents and be able to be a bit slippery. When I was talking about the range as well, we can see that those heavies go quite far in chains, and the same applies to a pistol blast, right? So again, the goal of this is to be able to target swap between opponents, be able to reach them. Her attacks have quite nice trajectories. She can hit a lot of different people around her, so it works really well. Okay, so now let's just do a quick showcase of what kind of things she can do, right? So let's go a little bit nuts here. And with a little execution right there.
Perfect.
That looks really sick. So, let's talk feats. Francis, you want to run through the pirate's feats?
Yeah, for sure. So first feat for pirate is going to be one called Armor Piercing Slug. So it's super simple. You're just going to throw a bullet towards your enemy. When it hits, it's going to do a defense debuff and deal direct damage. Pretty simple.
Yeah, let's look at it. So, from neutral.
Yep.
So it's pretty interesting too, because that feat is that feat actually lets you do range damage, right? Which is one of the things that we didn't want to have like on demand at all times, but you can still perform range attacks a little bit with her pistol.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
So for feat 2, we have a feat called Pocket Bomb. This one is also pretty simple. You just throw a bomb at somebody. It has a small radius, and it deals also damage when it impacts. It also has a really cool animation. So yeah, if you can do that one,
let's have a look.
Nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. So for feat 3, this one is I think it's a really cool one. I don't think we have something like that in the game right now. It's called Trick Shot, and it's basically a projectile that will bounce on contact to another close target, and that feat can bounce up to 3 times, considering the initial target. It's a 4 attack if all the enemies are in the vicinity. So we can showcase that one.
All right. So let's look. So I'm gonna shoot it at the Yorm here, courtesy of Benjamin, that you guys know from the Warriors Den a bunch of times. So yeah. So see. So it's pretty interesting, right? The bullet hit the Yorm and then bounced to the Kyoshin, dealt damage and applied bleed as well. Right?
Exactly. So it's also worth noting that this may sound like super strong, but you can also dodge it at any point to stop the ricochet from happening, right?
Okay.
So if you can do it again.
Yeah, I can't right now because it's still on cooldown, but we'll be able to do it. It's okay. So what's interesting there is how many targets can it hit?
So it's 4 targets, right? So we say it's 3 bounces with the first target. So basically just keep in mind that it's a 4 target attack. But at any point, right, if you're dodging, you're just going to stop the ricochet from happening to other targets nearby.
And can it hit minions? Can it do any of that
it
stuff?
It can't hit minions. It can hit yourself or other allies, but it won't bounce or ricochet from an ally or whatnot. It can hit the king in breach, and I don't think it can hit the guardian.
Okay, all right.
But that's
All right. So what about feat 4?
So feat 4 is called Gunpowder Surprise. It's I'm just gonna let you showcase it.
Yeah.
Just because it looks super cool.
All right, so let's go.
So yeah, so this is basically Jormungandr's tier 4, but shootable, right? You don't get the armor from the Jormungandr. This can also hit the pirates, so you want to be sure to use it in a more strategic way than just using it when you're inside of the AoE to hit yourself. It will also bump your allies. And it also deals damage to whoever's in there. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting, yeah. So
is your feat still in cooldown?
My 4th one is in cooldown, but I can do my 3rd one again if you'd like.
Yeah. Try it just to see.
So let's go.
And I didn't dodge. So bloopers, I guess.
It's all good. Okay. So I when I was introducing the heroes and stuff, I noticed that I actually said it, that we have a little surprise in store for players with the Pirate's feat. So can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, I think this is something we're pretty proud of. It's not a new tech per se, but it's something that's been incorporated into the whole hero. What you're going to be able to do with this character is at any point when you're able to use your pistol blast, you can just use a feat instead, just to swap it out. You say, I don't want to use pistol blast, I want to use my trick shot, and maybe hit the first target and then hit the other targets to protect yourself. It's all doable with this tech.
Okay. So if I understand correctly, anytime I use a pistol blast, so basically if I do this, right? So
Yeah,
instead of that
you're
pistol
going to be
blast,
able to use the feat.
I can use my feet. Okay, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's see what it looks like, right? So I'm going to be on you. I'm going to throw a heavy, and then I'm going to go into the feet instead of doing pistol blast.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. Okay. That works quite well. Can we do it to feet 2 and 4, right? Because they're not gunshots?
So we can even use them with feet 2 and 4. The only difference is it's not quote unquote guaranteed.
Okay.
If you're hitting, right?
So let me give it a shot.
Yeah. So here I could have dodged and rolled away or whatnot, but you can still use it in chain, which is great.
Okay.
So
I think too what's interesting as well is I can target swap them, right? So I'm gonna be on Ben here. I'm gonna do heavy target swap, and then I'm gonna go into my feet 3. Oh wow. Okay. This is actually pretty interesting, right? Like it feels quite strong. I can go into my feet 4 as well. We can showcase it. It's dodgeable still, right? So you can go. See, so it hit me, bounced me, hit me, dealt a little bit of damage to me as well.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And is there another little trick to those feats? Because that's already pretty cool tech, right?
Yeah. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So what's interesting also I find with these feats is that not only can you use them in your chains, they also initiate chains, just like the pistol blast, right? So I can go heavy into feet into heavy again afterwards, which is super interesting because normally like we wouldn't really have feats that not only we can use in chains. We've had it a little bit. Little unknown tech Hitokiri can actually chain into her 4th feat after pretty much every single attack. It's just not very well known or used. Mm-hmm. But this is the first time that we actually put it as a big part of a character's fight kit, being able to do that sort of stuff. So it's kind of interesting, right? So I can go like this, like that. That's pretty cool. All right.
Yeah, so it's going to be great to see, how like all the plays the pirates are going to be able to do. Maybe we're going to see it on social medias. So I can't wait for that.
Yeah, that should be super interesting. Okay, sure. So one last thing I want to showcase real quick because it's something that we haven't really seen much. Is that so before when I was showcasing the pirates pistol blast, so you have this guaranteed pistol blast after a heavy, right? So what happens if you want to target swap? So this is the first time we've also done this, which is if you stay on the same target and your heavy attack hits and you press guard break, the hit is going to be guaranteed on your main target. However, if you target swap, instead of keeping on your target and doing a guaranteed hit on that target, you're actually able to do target swap and go into the other pistol blast like this, right? So this is pretty interesting also because that we really wanted the character to be able to weave in between opponents quite a bit in group fights. That gunshot, the pistol blast is like 500 milliseconds, so it's super quick. It's hard to react to in group fights, so you really need to be aware when you're fighting her, when you're outnumbering her, to be able to fight well and to be aware of what can be coming. So that's it for the Pirate Hero. We hope you enjoyed this little thing, and we're going back to the regularly scheduled programming in the Warriors then. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Well, until we meet again. Get ready, because you're in for a wild ride.